you guys for tuning in today. We're at PC Construction in Omaha, Nebraska, and this is currently kind of what we'd consider a full sample lab. So we're going over all of our techniques for countertops. We're going to be going over all of our Ultraflex epoxy for flooring. That's been our Ultraflex is just going down everywhere, and we have a lot of people using it, a lot of people wanting to understand how to use it properly. We're going to be going over the diamond gloss flooring epoxy. We have quite a few really good contractors in this class, and that's kind of the fun part of these classes is you get a lot of, you get to network with a lot of contractors. So we've got Jeanette, good to see you. God bless you, Jeanette. Thank you for being here. What temp did you pour out, Ronnie?
87.
87, okay, perfect, nice and cool.
That's what we want to pour it, is like 85, right?
Have you watched Run, Ronnie, Run yet?
Oh, I did not. It's all about...
Don't try not to do that with these big piles. Here. See how you're kind of pushing piles around here?
Yeah.
We don't need to push piles. We need to just baby this on here and then see this edge here.
Don't push it over the edge.
See, it might take me even quite a few passes just to get this corner built up because I'm just trying to get it all super even down this whole edge here. See how I stop right before the end and then I just push it back? Because I always know I'm bringing enough product down there. And then the speed I push it at, like I was saying the other day, it's not because I'm trying to move fast. I just don't want my roller sinking. And see, I felt that there was still product out there. I could feel I could see and feel that it was still heavy out there. So instead of me just spreading that, I need to go slowly work my way all the way, because I need to bring that all the way slowly back to where I need it. I can tell it's a little thin here at this end specifically. Yeah, and you know what? Give me a little drop of each, just a little bit of product of a little bit of each one of those.
On here?
Uh-huh.
How do you want them?
Just a blob, purposefully a mess, like take even the stick and just slap it around. Make sure it's kind of a messy little area. Doesn't have to be organized at all. Yeah, exactly. That's good. You're good. That's a lot. Yeah, and then the charcoal, you can go as heavy as you want. You can go like half of that onto here or a third of that. Do like a third, yeah. It's as messy as you want to be. Yeah, you're good. And then you'll give them a third. They'll get theirs last, probably. You're good.
We do the same with theirs.
And then we'll give them the little piles of that as well. And yeah, no, a little bit. Yeah, just messy and can favor an end. It doesn't have to. Yep. Now, we're starting this very similar here. We poured a black base, then we poured a little bit of our charcoal gold and white. It's all of our accents we could possibly use. And I'm just gonna roll them all into the surface here, into our top. Super low key, simple. It's gonna be a great way to start a base. Thanks to all the live audience. Are we live still? Did that work?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching today, for tuning in. I hope you all can hear me. We did have to shut the live down earlier because people couldn't hear me. I was probably saying something offensive. Gonna give it plenty of time to cure. Just be random. Be thoughtful when you get to your pieces. You don't want to pour too much of this just to have a bunch of lines all over your piece. And you do want them to be somewhat random as well. Not a bunch of windshield wipers. Make sure you have some pretty right angles. Man, it's so quiet. It's ain't a library, guys. It's like a... Now I'm gonna do some really small veining. I want you guys to practice something, smaller veins. And we're gonna do something with these. On one end of your piece, I want you to purposely try not to let it chatter too much or skip, because you do want these to be actually individual lines. I don't care how clean they look. I'm fine if they don't look super clean. Try to keep them straight. And it's okay that these don't look perfect, because I'm going to show you how to fix these and make them look pretty realistic and pretty like nice little fractures. So don't be afraid to add some like random, very small ones to your piece. Don't let them stop. Don't turn around on your piece. It looks shitty and fake when you do that. So like I say, remember to see how small some of these are. Practice just how small of a line you can create on here, because then we're going to actually warm it up, then we're going to spray it with alcohol and get it to break, and it'll look very fractured. So, okay. I'm going to show you what I did with my really small veins here in a second. Those little white ones I was showing you. Where I told you that I knew they didn't look real, but I wanted them down there anyway. This are clear. Oh, we'll make it work. Now, I've just finished torching it, and I'm speckling large droplets of alcohol. What I told you not to do that'll fisheye. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to just keep speckling until I have 100% coverage on my piece. But it's going to break all those real small little fractures, and I'm going to get a really cool fractured effect out of it. Usually you can't really do that artistically very easily. So learn your trigger control. Yeah, down here you see how it's starting to break? These were just little lines. You see a lot of alcohol setting, but do you see how it's pushing it under and kind of breaking up that pattern? And you'll start getting a really very faint little, like a fracture effect there. And remember, you can add a little bit of product right back to this. If you want to have another vein, you think these were a little too subdued through here. But I think that's money to have them really thin. Remember, that's all you need. You see how it's starting to break these lines?
Oh, yeah.
That's all you're trying to do is create that real fractured effect there. See how it's starting to look more realistic from what we just poured down? And now you sand this and it cuts into little bits of that and not in other pieces. You start getting a really cool look out of it, you know?
Right.
So.
Would this be sanded down the same way as like the other ones, like 400?
You could, you don't have to. We'll do halves of these because the one really big thing people want to know they can do is degloss their countertops or their floors. So we like to show it, but I wouldn't do it to everything though.
Okay.
I would say leave it like that. That's a super simple. I believe you could do that yourself on a job site. Do you? I literally like took old. I didn't even wait for the new white because look at that's what's down there. That's almond and white from last pour.
Oh hell yeah!
So, and that's you see how good that is.
Right.
Like that's so workable as a vein.